What's up everyone, this is CyberKnight8610, and today we have another accessory video for you guys, kind of a review over all of these different Ultimate Guard deck boxes. For full disclosure, at the beginning of this video too, I want to say that Ultimate Guard sent me all these different deck boxes to make a video on for you guys, except for, of course, the original one, the more basic one, because I already had this one and I actually have some cards in it right now. But basically, the point of this video is to review all these different deck boxes and hopefully help you guys know what is pretty much the best one you're getting for your money, and maybe whatever deck box is best for you, because there's a lot of different circumstances where, maybe the more basic one's the cheapest one and will do well enough for you, or maybe you want the twin flip and tray box that's right here. We're going to go through all that and talk about the prices, and it's still going to be my opinion too on the review, like which one I think is best for whatever situation and which one isn't. So let's go on ahead and start going through them. We'll go with the least expensive at the beginning all the way to the most expensive. Alright, the first deck box we have is the plain and simple one. This one is the Ultimate Guard deck case. This one can hold up to 80 sleeved cards in it, and then also it is around $5 right now. I'm going by eBay prices on a lot of these too, so some of that can kind of change around in there, but this is the cheapest of all the different deck boxes you can get from Ultimate Guard. This is the one too, like I said, I already had one of these, and it's pretty good quality. I mean, it's the one that you've seen several times. I mean, there's a lot of different companies that make similar deck boxes to this. It's the plain plastic one, doesn't have Velcro on it, you just open it up, you have your deck of cards in there, and you just close it, and there. It's a nice deck box because it's just plain and simple. It's a great thing to just store your cards in, but really too, obviously you get what you pay for. Being the cheapest one, it can be crushed so easily. I mean, it's just thin plastic. I have a deck of cards in here, so obviously I'm not going to just break it, and besides I don't want to anyway. But obviously, this deck box, if you step on it, you accidentally sit on it, anything like that, or if it's just in a backpack full of different things, maybe heavier books, or just really anything, your cards aren't really going to be protected too well because this could easily bend and just go to pieces, really. So it is one of those things, it really is a get what you pay for. In most cases, people are going to be going with these, I know, but of course, if you have a high dollar cards in your deck, or you just want to make sure to get the best protection you can from it, it's tough to recommend one like this, because again, it is the cheapest one, and it's the one that can break the easiest too. Alright, so next up we have the Ultimate Guard BOULDER deck case. This is the next step, basically, for a deck box. They sent me two different ones to show you guys. We'll mainly show, I guess, this green one, but there are a variety of different colors. Anyway, this is what it looks like when it's all packaged and everything, too, if you guys want to see that, all the info on it. And basically, what it's about is that it is a resin deck case, so it means it's like a type of plastic. So this one will hold up a lot better than most deck boxes. It is the second cheapest one that you can get right now. At the time, again, at eBay prices and everything, it's around $11 to $10. So it's not too expensive, and also the thing that is kind of the big advertisement for it is that it's supposed to be easy to open, and also it's symmetrical, so you can just put your cards in it like this too. So let's go on and open this up and see if it really is that great. So here you go, you have the deck case itself. It actually says BOULDER right there. I don't know if you guys see it on my camera. You can kind of see it. It's like engraved on there. So you're supposed to be able to easy open this up. Yeah, there you go. Alright, so this is what it looks like, of course, holding your cards in it. You can have like the extra deck and the main deck for Yugioh. I mean, that's probably the best example I can give you guys. Obviously, you can still use this with Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Card Fit Vanguard, any card game too. It's supposed to hold up to 80 plus cards as well, just like the original deck case that we talked about. It's basically the same exact size. Just obviously, you can have it where you can hold your cards like this. It's supposed to be easier to open up, and it is basically, though, other than that, the same size. And also, it is a resin deck box. So let me go ahead and we'll put our cards in here. Actually set them right there. Go ahead and close this. So you have to be kind of careful, I guess, because you are actually thinning it over your cards. I don't even have the full, this is a full deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, except for like a side deck, and it was easy for me to put the cards in there. But yeah, this is a resin deck box, so obviously you're not going to be able to break this one easily. I mean, if you're trying to, obviously, you could break it. It's not indestructible. I'm not saying that, don't try to back your car over it or something, But this is something where if you stepped on it, if you accidentally sat on the deck of cards, if it was in a bag that was, full of books or something, it will not break like that. I mean, you would have to intentionally try to break it, honestly, and it's holding the cards in there, too. As you guys can see, the latch that's on this is actually holding very well. But yeah, it's going to hold the cards a lot better, and it's actually pretty easy to open. You just kind of break it apart like that, and there you go. So I think this is pretty much one of the best deck boxes that's out there right now. This is something I would recommend to anyone that's bringing their cards to a tournament. And of course, for the price that you're paying, it is a lot easier to recommend this over the original deck case, just because this will hold together a lot better, and it will make sure your cards are way more protected too than like a regular deck case that could easily bend and break. With that thin plastic, this one should hold up to a lot of different stress, and also just be one of the best ways to protect your cards. Now next up we have the Monolith deck case. This one is really nice. It's basically the next level after the Boulder. It's only like basically $1 more than the Boulder itself, and also it can hold more cards in it, and you even have a tray for your dice and coins too, as you guys can see. It breaks apart the same way though as the Boulder, so it's basically like the next level, and something I can recommend for people that are actually, you know, they're carrying a lot of dice and coin stuff for whatever card game they play. This is something I easily recommend for you, because it's basically everything I just said about the Boulder, just a little bit bigger, being able to hold some more cards in it. I mean, you have 100 plus cards that you can put in this, depending on how you sleeve them, again, double sleeved and everything, and yeah, I mean, this will definitely help you out with that with tournaments and stuff too. So let's open this up and get a better look at it. Alright, so here's what the Monolith looks like out of packaging and everything. Of course, this is the Onyx one, by the way, too. I should point that out. And there are other colors you can get, just like with the Boulder. But yeah, it is the same idea. You guys can see that you can just break it in half right here. Or, I guess I should say open it like that. Breaking it sounds a little different, right? But yeah, you can do the same, have your cards sitting up in it, just like with the Boulder, obviously. You have a little bit more room because, like I said, this is a bigger deck box. As you guys can plainly see from that, it is still a resin deck box too and everything. And it's pretty simple to put together. You just want to make sure your cards, you know, you're not going to, like, have them a little bit over the edge. Just be careful when you're sliding, like, the lid on it. And then, of course, you have this tray at the bottom where you can put your dice and coins and everything, too. So, again, it is basically just like the Boulder, just a little bit more room for it. So this is something I would recommend probably more to a Pokemon player than just about anything else, just because with Pokemon you have more condition coins and dice and everything that they carry, the counters and everything. So this is something I would definitely recommend to them. It's everything that you're getting from the Boulder, just more room and that added tray. So if you're playing a card game that has a lot of coins and dice and stuff, I can easily recommend this to you guys because, like I said, it's not even really $1 higher than the Boulder. But it will hold up really well, and it should be able to protect your cards really easily, just like with the Boulder. The next deck case that we have is the SideWinder. Now, this is one of my favorites. This is just a plain and simple deck case for you to put your cards in. It can hold, again, up to 80 plus cards in it, depending on if you double sleeve or not, too, just like with the previous ones. And it's basically the same size as like the Boulder and the original deck case. Obviously, though, they're going for more of a cool design, where you can actually flip this over and get your cards out of it just like that, and you can flip your cards back in it. So it's more of like an easy way to get your cards out of a box. That's what they're going for on this, and just kind of going for that coolness factor, really, too. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what it looks like out of the packaging and everything. Alright, so this is what the SideWinder looks like. It's supposed to have this type of texture to it where it's called XENOSKIN, is what Ultimate Guard calls it, where basically it's anti-slip, like material that's made of, because this is not like a resin deck box. This is actually like a material deck box that feels really good, too. I gotta say, like, it feels like it's not anything slick. I always like matte finish on anything anyway for that reason. And it's held together by just a couple of magnets on it, too, which it seems like your cards aren't going to fall out of that either. Like, that seems to be holding up very well. It's still a tough deck box, too. Like, I don't feel like you could crush this one easily. Again, you know, if you have it, like, in your bag, and you have your bag full of stuff and everything, or worried about accidentally setting your cards or something in this deck box, I don't think it would break under you either. It seems a little possibly weaker than the Boulder, but not by much. I mean, this is still a very sturdy deck box. Of course, this is one, too, that's a little bit more expensive. On eBay prices and stuff that I saw it at, it was around $20. And, of course, the main selling point behind the SideWinder is that it's easy to open up and get your cards out of it. So you can just undo the magnets like this, so it's open, and then you can just grab your cards out of it really easily. I mean, it has spots where you can get them on both sides, pick up your cards securely, and there you go. So, just that simple. Of course, it can hold double sleeve cards and everything too. Again, I just have a standard deck of cards for Yu-Gi-Oh! Without a side deck. This is just an extra deck and main deck, so 55 cards in it that are just sleeved once. And it holds them easily. I mean, there's plenty of room in this. You should be able to fit like a side deck in there pretty easily. And even if you double sleeve them, I don't think you're going to have much trouble. I mean, you have this much room, and I'm not really even, you know, pressing down that much on the cards to even make more room. So really with this should be plenty of room for any deck of cards out there. Again, though, like with the Boulder, I recommend this more towards Yu-Gi-Oh! Players and card fighting stuff too, because with this, obviously, you don't have to worry about coins, anything like that. It's just a deck box for you to put your cards in, and easily just there. They're secure, and they're in this. So this is probably the most premium of the different deck boxes you can get. Kind of a simple one, yet you are definitely getting a good deck box to hold your cards in. So this is the one I would really recommend, too. If you just want something that's kind of simple, easy to get your cards out of, and it still protect them, yeah. I mean, the SideWinder is definitely for you if you're looking for something like that. Alright, next up we have the Flip and Tray XENOSKIN deck case. This is basically the next level up. It, again, has the XENOSKIN material, so it's the same as the SideWinder on material. This one, though, is around $30, $30, but with it, of course, it's kind of similar to the one we talked about with BCW, where basically it has a tray in it where you can have your cards, and then also a tray for your dice and everything too. So this is another one that's made to hold dice, coins, that kind of stuff for different card games that require it. So let's go on ahead and open this up and show you guys what it looks like out of the box. Alright, this is what it looks like out of the box and everything. Again, it's really similar to the BCW one we talked about before, because it is held together by magnets. You can open it up like this, or you can even open up the dice compartment separate. It's just held there by magnets, so it's really easy to open up. And of course, it's that XENOSKIN, so it's nice, like anti-slip. And feels like it's going to hold up pretty well. Again, this is a harder deck box too, so it doesn't feel like one you could crush easily. And this is another one that is similar to the original ones that we've already talked about, where it's going to be able to hold 80 plus cards in it too. So it is basically, you know, it still holds about the same amount of cards and everything. It's just kind of a little bit fancier, I guess the best way to put it, than the other deck cases. So, of course, on this side, you have both the trays. Again, I have a standard deck of cards in this Yu-Gi-Oh cards where we have the extra deck and main deck. So that's how much room it holds them. You know, they're just sleeved once and everything, and you still have plenty of room there. You could fit in a side deck, and you might be able to even double sleeve on that too. So, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of room in there for some extra cards and stuff. You can't get 2 decks of cards in there. Like, I really don't think so on that. I guess if you didn't have them sleeved, which honestly, I don't see you buying something like this if you're not going to sleeve your cards, honestly. But yeah, you can fit 1 deck of cards in this really easily with a side deck and everything too, pertaining to Yu-Gi-Oh! But other card games too, you should have plenty of room for that, because there's, like I said, just a lot of room in there. And of course, the top compartment is right here, which can hold dice and coins and stuff too. I have some different Yu-Gi-Oh! Dice in here for an example, and also a Pokemon coin. So it can hold everything you need. Again, this is another thing I recommend more towards Pokemon players, just because they do have a lot of dice and different things that they have to carry. So if you're going for a tournament or something, you might want to carry something like this that would be able to hold all that stuff for you, because, I mean, that's pretty easy to get to everything, and it should be able to be secure enough to put in a book bag or whatever. Because, again, these magnets, they hold up, because look at that. I mean, they will definitely hold your cards in there nice and safely. You don't have to worry about anything like that. So they definitely have strong magnets in this. Another thing with the flipping tray is probably the thing I can compare with it the most is the Monolith. The Monolith is basically a third of the price. It can actually hold more cards in it. It's slightly smaller than the flipping tray, as you guys can see. I mean, there's just a little bit of difference, mainly just because of the material the flipping tray is made out of. But I feel like if you're going to an actual tournament and you need a deck box that can also hold dice and everything, I feel like the Monolith is a better choice if you're comparing the two of these. Again, you have more premium quality and stuff with the flipping tray, and you know, I feel like this will look better like on a shelf or something. But if you're going to a tournament, you need a deck box that can hold your dice and everything. I feel like the Monolith is easily the better choice, just because you can hold 100 plus cards in this one, and then the flipping tray you can only hold 80 plus cards in it. So there's just a little bit of difference on that. I feel like it's just a little bit more secure in some ways, even though both of these are very secure. Again, I mean, the magnets aren't wearing out on this, and obviously the way this snaps together, I mean, it's it's easy enough to open, but it's not going to open up in your bag or something like that. Like, if you seal it the way it's supposed to be sealed, it's not going to open like in your bag or, you know, in anything that you're going to carry it in. But yeah, like I said, out of the two of these, I feel like, you know, if you're going to keep your cards on a shelf and you want something really premium to put your cards in, easily flipping tray. If you're bringing your cards to tournament with you and you're going to have them in a bag or something, like a backpack, and you want to make sure everything's 100% sealed and just not have to worry about magnets at all, even though, like I said, these do seal very well, but if you don't want to have that worry at all for you, then I would just go with the Monolith, because you still have that extra compartment for your dice, and it actually holds more cards. So really, for tournament stuff, I recommend the Monolith. Flipping tray is something I recommend more for display and keeping your cards nice and safe in too. And then, of course, the final deck box we're going to talk about today, and that is the Twin Flippin' Tray deck case. So yes, of course, this is basically the next level from the Flippin' Tray. I mean, obviously, it can hold twice as many cards on it, because you can hold 2 decks of cards, and again, you still have that tray for your dice and coins and stuff too. So let's go ahead and get out of the packaging to give you guys a better look at it. Alright, so this is what it looks like out of the packaging and everything. Of course, this deck case can hold 2 decks of cards, so that means it can hold 160 plus cards in it, again, depending on double sleeving and that kind of stuff too. And it's basically just $5 higher than the regular Flippin' Tray, where it is $35 right now is what I'm seeing it go for. So as you guys can see, here's the regular Flippin' Tray, kind of a size comparison on the two. And yeah, as you guys can tell, obviously it's bigger, because with the Twin Flippin' Tray, you can hold 2 decks of cards, and then it has a tray for your dice, which you can open up by itself even. There's the drawer for just like your dice and coins, and then you can just choose which side of the deck box you want to open up for that deck of cards. So there's one deck of cards, and then of course here is the other one. So you could actually carry this like this on its side, even if you want to, although they won't actually stay up, like the doors will close on you. But that's how you can store 2 different decks in it, and then, of course, your dice and everything. So it's basically double of the flipping tray, but it's, of course, not necessarily double the size. And even for another size comparison on it, here is a regular deck case, so it's like having 2 of these basically together with that extra tray. So you guys can see it is definitely a step up from just the standard deck case that you would get. So this, like I said before, these are the 2 different decks I've been using in the comparison on all these different deck boxes. With this, both of the decks of cards that are in this are 55 card decks of Yu-Gi-Oh! They don't include the side deck. It is the main deck, which is 40 cards, and then 15 for the extra deck. And they easily have enough room in there. I mean, you guys can see. You can easily get them out of it, too, with the tray. And, I mean, it really is, plain and simple, just a bigger version of the twin tray. So it's basically everything I said about that is the same with this. And then, of course, your dice, you want to probably open it like this, just because, yeah, they would fall out otherwise. You can see you can hold a lot of dice and coins and stuff, too. So it basically is just a bigger version of the flipping tray. You're just getting that extra deck of cards you can put into it. So, again, it's pretty much my same complaints as with the flipping tray, although it's a little different, because with this one, I don't really see you taking this to a tournament at all. I mean, just because how big it is, how many decks of cards. I mean, maybe if you're going to 2 different tournaments, like, or maybe you're playing like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, or Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, or Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, or whatever, you could have 2 decks of cards like that, which could really help you out for different card games. But really, in most cases, you don't need all the room for, like, let's say 2 Yu-Gi-Oh decks or 2 Magic the Gathering and stuff, too. I mean, it's kind of overkill. This definitely is something I see people just, like, having on their shelf or something to kind of keep a couple of decks of cards in that they play, and just keep them safe. Plain and simple. And also including, you know, their dice and coins and everything, too. Maybe something you would take to a friend's house, but again, definitely not something I would think you would take to a tournament, just because it's just more than you need, honestly. I mean, you definitely have the room that you could possibly want from it, but it's honestly a bit overkill. I mean, like I said, going back to the Monolith, this is the thing I recommend. If you're going to a tournament, go with the Monolith, if you need the dice tray. And then, of course, if you don't need the dice tray, I would also recommend then the BOULDER instead, because it doesn't have a dice tray to it, but it's plain and simple, something you can easily carry with you. You could keep it in a pocket, or like I said, a backpack easily, and you just don't need all the room that the twin flipping tray really gives you if you're going to a tournament. Now, again, if you plan on keeping it on a shelf, that's the one I recommend. If you're going to a tournament, it's Monolith or BOULDER. Plain and simple. And yep, there you go. That is the deck case review for you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I went on ahead and reviewed all these, but I didn't really give them a score or anything. And the reason for that is that, you know, I don't want to give like a letter score or even a number score, is because I feel like it depends on your situation. If you're going to a tournament or something and you just need a deck case to hold your cards, the BOULDER is easily the one I recommend for you. If you want something a little bit fancier than that, SideWinder's nice just because it's easier to get your cards out of it than most deck cases, and it just looks cool. You know, if you're you just want to have like a cool looking deck box, I recommend that. But honestly, if you're going to a tournament or something, you want to keep your cards safe and like a bag or something, easily BOULDER and Monolith are your choice. If you need that dice tray is the reason I would say Monolith. Now for something on your shelf, both the flipping trays are great for that. You know, if you're going to a friend's house, bring your cards with you, or if a friend's coming over, you just want to keep your cards safe in there, like you're working on a couple of decks of cards, I recommend these, because I feel like they're more where you would keep them on a shelf and not really just throw in a bag and go to a tournament. But again, that's just my 2 cents on it. Just let me know what you guys think in the comments, which of these deck cases you guys like the most. If you're more a person that wants a plain and simple deck case like just these simple plastic ones, or are you interested in more of like a BOULDER one, or SideWinder, or even the flipping trays? Just tell me what you guys think about that in the comments below. As well as, of course, like this video if you enjoyed it. It helps out a ton. And subscribe for more card game accessory videos and Yu-Gi-Oh related videos, because of course there's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh news videos I do, openings and stuff too. So if you enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh, I know you guys will enjoy this channel. So be sure to subscribe for that. As always, thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you to Ultimate Card for sending me all these deck cases. Again, for full disclosure, I want to say that. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.